Hi guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys the story about how I told my boyfriend I have HIV at 20. Yeah, I know. Wait, this should be my thumbnail. Okay, I think I got it. So, in my last video, I posted about my HIV story, so definitely go watch that. But in that video, I briefly mentioned coming out to my boyfriend, but I didn't go too much into details, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. Let's start when I knew it was the right time for me to tell him. So last year in 2019, that's when I knew I was ready to tell him, and it was just the right time. And I knew that I wanted to tell him for him and for myself, but I knew that I had to plan it out because this wasn't some casual thing that I could just tell him whenever. This was a big deal. I mean, coming out about anything, whether it be your sexuality, a diagnosis, or anything that's just stigmatized in society, is really hard to tell someone. And I've never told anybody in my whole life, so he was the first person that I ever told. So I was really scared. I honestly, just the thought of telling him really scared me, because for me, I just associated that with our breakup. And so I don't know, I was just really scared. So I decided to plan out where and when I would tell him. So I decided on a date. I think it was about a week after I decided okay, I'm ready. So for the place, I wanted to tell him in a park or on a hill somewhere. I was just going for that type of vibe because I wanted some place quiet, but that was in the open. So I also decided that I was gonna write a letter to tell him. So I wrote a letter on my notes app in my phone, and it had kind of two parts to it. So the first part was the cheesy part, confessing my love, I appreciate him and all that. And then the second part was gonna be my coming out. So at the time, I thought writing a letter was perfect because I didn't want to leave anything out, and in a letter I could really say everything that I want to say, and I make sure that I voice it to him. Also, I feel like a letter was kind of like a support, so that I have a specific speech to follow. Because if I just improvised on the spot, I would probably, forget what to say and forget a lot of things because of nerves. So okay, so fast forward to the day that I was gonna tell him. We ended up going out for dinner that night, and after dinner I told him, let's go to the park. So we drove to the park, and it was a pretty big park, and there was a lake right next to it. So we walked up to the lake, and there was a bench, and we just sat down, and I was like, okay, I knew this was gonna be the place where I was gonna tell him. So we just talked there for a bit, and then I pulled out my phone, and I'm like, okay, this is it. So I told him, I wrote a letter for you, and yeah, I started reading it. I read the first part perfectly, but the closer I was getting to actually saying the words, I was born with HIV, it was harder and harder to keep reading the letter. And at some point I started kind of choking, when you can't deliver a message properly. So I was choking, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is way harder than I thought. Way harder. I thought a letter, I could just follow it properly, no problem. But honestly, it was really hard, and I was telling him, like, this is really hard for me to tell you, and like, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm really scared. And he was like, you can tell me anything, like, you know, I'll always love you. And yeah, but even then, it's just kind of scary. I tried to collect myself and I was like, okay, girl, just do it. So I was about to tell him, and then this goddamn security guard just comes out of nowhere and he's like, yo, y'all gotta leave because the park is closed. And I'm like, are you for real right now? Can't you see that I'm in the middle of some deep ass conversation? I'm sorry, but coming out to someone is almost just as big as proposing to someone. So the fact that this dude had the decency to come up to us, like, while he could see, like, I was pretty much crying and my boyfriend was in shock, and this dude is just... So yeah, we had to leave the park. I mean, I understand. I think it was about 8 o'clock and the park was closed. So little did I know that that security guard actually saved my ass. Because like I said, I was choking up. I wanted to tell him, but it was really, really hard. And so the security guard, actually, as annoying as he was, he actually saved me. So he came in clutch at the right time to kind of like take me out of that situation. So I'm not that mad at the security guard. So we ended up walking back to the car, and while we were walking back, so many things were just going through my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, so like, where am I gonna tell him now? It's not at the place that I wanted to tell him. Like, what am I doing? So I was just having so much anxiety in that moment, and as soon as we got into the car, that's when I realized that the car is literally the perfect place to tell someone something. Because being in a car, in a parked car obviously, being in a car is kind of like being in your own little bubble. Just you and that person. And no one else can intervene or disturb us, so it's literally perfect. So in the car, I started by telling him that I was born with a virus, and for some reason he was like trying to guess what it was. Like, boy, this ain't a game. His first choice was actually HPV, and I was like, hold up, no, it's not that, but are you confusing the two? I wasn't really sure if he like knew what that was or not, so I just let him keep guessing, and he eventually said HIV, and then I was like, yeah. He was like, are you for real? And I guess he was kind of in shock, and he started crying. Oh my god, I'm like sweating. It's so hot in here. Actually, his reaction really surprised me. I was not expecting this kind of reaction. I was expecting like certain emotions, being scared or angry, or I don't really know, but he started actually crying. He basically thought that I was gonna be sick and I didn't have much time to live, and I reassured him on the spot. I told him everything. I educated him about U equals U, undetectable equals untransmittable, so basically I can live like a totally normal life as long as I take my medications every day, and like that I stay undetectable and I cannot transmit it to anyone. As soon as he knew that I was going to be okay and it actually wasn't as much as a big deal as society portrays it to be, he was like, okay, so this literally is just a really stigmatized like virus. Like, he thought that, you know, if you get this, you die. I was just so shocked how he cared about me first before even asking about oh my gosh, like, am I gonna get it? Do I have it? Or stuff like that. And I just thought that was so like selfless of him, and I could really tell in that moment that he genuinely like cares about me and about my well-being. And like I'm so grateful for that. I'm honestly so grateful to have him, and like to have someone so caring and like open-minded as well. And he wasn't mad that I waited before telling him, because he understood that it was something really hard to tell to people. Just overall, he was just really sweet and understanding about it. And I'm just so grateful that he was, because I was expecting the worst. I'm not gonna lie, like I was so scared, because I don't know, it's hard not to assume someone will walk out on you. Like, it's sad, but it's just a way like society views it. They view it as something so stigmatized and like dirty and wrong. But I mean, anyone can get it, literally anybody. So I don't think it's right to like blame people for this. Okay, so I was thinking that I should actually call up my boyfriend to ask him if he remembers what his reaction was, because honestly my memory is trash and I can't remember everything that happened. So I'm just gonna ask him what he remembers and what he wants to share with you guys. So pick up. Oh my gosh, are you for real? Please pick up. Hello? Quick question. I wanted to know if you could like share your part of the story, like when I came out to you, what you remember and like what I told you and stuff.
There was a night when we were by the lake and we parked, and then we're like all serious, and you're like, you have to tell me, and I'm like, oh god, like what is happening, like the hell, like my initial thought was like, what is going on? Like, what is she about to tell me? Like, she's gonna die? Like, she cheated? Like, what the fuck is, like, what are you going to say? And then, like, you told me that, and I was like, oh my gosh, is she going to die? Like,
yeah, literally.
I know, I was not uneducated, so I was, like, super scared, and, like, I don't want to lose you. Yeah, and then, like, you told me and, like, educated me about the subject, and I was like, okay, we can do this, I can deal with this, like, that's chill. I was proud of you for, like, having the courage to do that.
Aw, thank you. I'm really happy, like, you were so accepting. Yeah. And, like, honestly, what shocked me the most was how you cared about me before you cared about yourself.
Of course, dude.
Like, I feel like not a lot of people would do that. I feel like most people will be like, oh my gosh, like, am I gonna get it now? Like, or something like that. Like, I feel like that would be people's, like, initial reactions, is scared for themselves. And which is normal, I understand, but
I have the mindset of, like, we're in this together. You know what I mean? It's like, so whatever you tell me, it's not like me, it's like, nah, like me and you, like us. You know? Like when you're in a team, you don't just think of yourself. You know, you think of the team.
Yeah,
you work together as a team, you take on obstacles as a team, and you don't give up on each other, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, when you would always say, like, oh, you can tell me anything, I'll always love you. Well, I was like, well, this is the ultimate test, so do you have anything else to say to the video?
Don't be ignorant. Love people for who they are.
I'm like waiting, like, are you done?
Not good enough? I need to add more?
No, but I wasn't sure if you're done. Bye, love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so that was my boyfriend's kind of like point of view on this. So I'm not just making this up. He's actually supportive and everything. So yeah, I guess that's going to be the end of this video. I just want to give some advice for people who are planning to come out to someone. Just honestly, just do it. Like, I feel like you will feel so much better after, to know that you have people in your life that actually support you for you no matter what it is. And at the end of the day, the real ones are the ones that will stay. And you really only want real people in your life. So I feel like in the same time, like, coming out kind of brings more clarity to your life to see like who's real and who's not. So what I want to say to people who are planning on coming out, whether it be about your sexuality or about a diagnosis, come out because you genuinely want to come out to these people. Just know that the real ones will love you regardless. So that's it for this story time. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see from me. So I'm planning to post every Wednesday. I'm soon finished school, so I'll have a lot more time. So subscribe if you like my videos, and don't forget to like and comment down below. You can follow me on Instagram at _mandydel. And yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
I got some vices, they talking on me. Got a new bitch who be loving on me. I told her God every day of the week. Know they all watching.